After nearly 8 years of struggling against the likes of Mercedes, Ferrari and McLaren, Red Bull have at last redeemed themselves by winning the 2021 Drivers' Championship courtesy of Dutch superstar Max Verstappen. Gearing up for the upcoming season, the Milton Keynes outfit have a tough challenge ahead in not just defending their title, but also having to prove their dominance in this new era. Now, as the teams prepare to test the latest iterations of their F1 cars, Red Bull are hoping to come out on top of their competitors with a much-awaited RB18. Given the wide array of changes that are to be implemented, each and every team has their own set of challenges to deal with, which may put Red Bull in a good position, aside from the fact that the team has a few problems of its own. So, let's not waste any more time and dive right into Red Bull's biggest threat for 2022. Since the start of the turbo hybrid era back in 2014, Red Bull have been a step behind their rivals Mercedes in terms of developing their car. While they initially managed to keep up with the Silver Arrows, Red Bull started to witness a slow decline in their form over the next few years. Despite sharing a strong relationship with their engine suppliers Renault throughout their winning streak in the late 2000s, team principal Christian Horner was not satisfied with the new Renault power units. Commenting on the issue at the time, he said, "The reliability is unacceptable, the performance is unacceptable, and there needs to be a change at Renault. It can't continue like this. It's not good for Renault and it's not good for Red Bull. We need to work together as partners, and there will not be another engine in the back of the car next year. But we want to be competitive and we want to run at the front, so these kind of issues cannot and should not happen." Much to Horner's disappointment, however, relations with Renault would only sour further, as Red Bull eventually signed a 2-year engine deal with Honda, ending a 12-year association with the French carmaker. Pleased with the performance of the new Honda engines, Red Bull once again started to make progress in the championships. Their high spirits, though, turned out to be short-lived, as at the end of 2020, Honda announced their intention to leave Formula 1 for good after the 2021 season. This meant that Red Bull and their sister team AlphaTauri were once again left in the lurch to figure out their engine supply demands, putting them at a severe disadvantage. Revealing Red Bull's contingency plan to deal with Honda's exit, Helmut Marko, head of Red Bull's driver development program, disclosed, "The more we look, there really is only one option that works, and that would be to try and agree something with Honda where we could take on the IP for the Honda engine. But of course, that would have to be dependent on the regulations. It would only make sense for an independent engine supplier, as Red Bull would effectively be if there was an engine freeze. It's absolutely fundamental that there needs to be an engine freeze with these power units until there's an introduction of the new engine." Given their setback, Red Bull were eager to find an alternative to the problem at hand, deciding at last to take on the mammoth task of building their very own power units with help from Honda. Such a decision meant that the team would have to seek cooperation from the rest of the teams in implementing a freeze on any kind of engine development till 2025. Despite staunch refusals from Ferrari, Mercedes and Renault, Red Bull somehow managed to successfully lobby for an engine freeze with a unanimous vote. With the onset of the pandemic in 2020, F1's latest regulations, which were initially slated to come into force from 2021, were pushed back by a year. Red Bull, however, decided to go ahead with their newly developed Honda RA621 engine as intended. The new power unit proved to be a significant boost to Red Bull's 2021 campaign, helping Verstappen claim his first world championship. Their success forced Honda to reconsider their original plan with the Japanese carmaker, now expected to supply the team with engines up to 2025, as well as help them set up Red Bull Powertrains Limited. Preparations for the 2022 season, however, don't seem to be going too smoothly for Red Bull, with Marko revealing, "Honda is working hard on the adaptation. What I hear is positive, but the performance is not yet the same as in 2021. You will generally have to wait to see how it looks in racing trim. With such a big rule change, you can never be sure." Red Bull sporting director Jonathan Wheatley too shared similar sentiments, stating, "I think it's very difficult to predict at this point. You only have your own references compared with last year's car. You can get snippets of information from other teams, but you don't know if they're telling you the truth or just trying to make you worried." These problems have seemed to rise from the fact that the new regulations mandate the use of the new E10 fuel, resulting in an overall loss of horsepower generated by the power unit compared to the previous years. The other teams in question are reported to have compensated for this loss of power with different modifications. Wheatley thus discussed the threat that Red Bull will now face from their rivals, especially Ferrari, saying, I think Ferrari are going to be the big unknown, or possibly the big threat this year. Ferrari, certainly the power unit, looked to be very strong at the end of the year. They were clearly the third fastest team at the end of the year. They've got a great driver lineup as well. I wasn't sure about whether they would gel together as drivers, but they seem to have done that very well. Besides their engine woes, it's rumoured that the team at Red Bull will have the RB18 ready only a few days prior to the first test at Barcelona. While the official launch will still take place as planned, it's doubtful that the team will reveal any important details about the car, as per Marco's comment. Explaining the rationale behind the decision, Marco disclosed, "The rules stayed the same last year, so we decided to have the car ready very early for the 2021 season. At the time, this decision proved to be the right one, but now it's exactly the opposite. With the new rules, everyone wants to be finished as late as possible, also so as not to show everything too early." In the meantime, Red Bull's reigning champion Max Verstappen is getting ready for another year of fierce racing, but has a few concerns of his own. Sharing his thoughts on the new car, Verstappen commented, "It's hard to say because I haven't driven the new car yet, except in the simulator. The cars are a bit slower, but I hope the races will be better, that we can overtake more, and that the teams are closer together. Then it doesn't matter that you're a bit slower." Max is eager to defend his title and is looking forward to adding a few more championship wins along the way, but he will have to put up an even stronger performance this year against the likes of Mercedes' new recruit George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, who returned to social media after a 2-month hiatus, signalling his return to the grid. Despite this, Verstappen doesn't seem particularly worried about the threat that the two drivers pose in the Mercedes W13, rather choosing to focus on his own performance instead. Helmut Marko did, however, express his fears of Max dealing with the pressures of it all, saying, "Max said he couldn't stand such an intensity anymore. We were all at the limit. He still wants to drive for a while, but if that's the case every year, then his career is limited." Marko further went on to add, "In previous years he would explode or rant in the pit box. Now he knows that he can't change it and the engineers can't change it either. So he's much more concentrating on the next session or his next chance. He's matured. The difference is that, for example, if we had problems in free practice, he stayed calm. The impatience he had before was also visible in the races from time to time. For example, when lap cars didn't get out of the way, he definitely learned that over time." Now, considering Red Bull lost out to Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship by a mere 30 points last season, the team is hoping to change things this time around. Although development on the new engine doesn't seem to be going ahead as planned, they're expected to make significant improvements to the car over the course of the season that will allow them to be on par with their rivals, if not ahead. While Red Bull will continue to work with Honda for the next 3 years, the team has quite the uphill journey in setting up their powertrains division. After all, the belief is that the best way for the energy drinks brand to compete against manufacturers such as Ferrari and Mercedes is to become a full works team themselves. The answers to Red Bull's concerns for this year will come only once pre-season testing begins in Barcelona, allowing not just Red Bull but the other teams as well as a chance to improve on their shortcomings for the 2022 F1 season. So, do you think Red Bull can trump over Ferrari and Mercedes when it comes to the engines? Let us know your verdict in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.